Live on the Mounjaro, it's Friday Night Live with your host, David Knapp.
Thank you, Clap Track, and happy St. Patrick's Day. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday Night Live. It is so good to be with you. As always, Friday Night Lives are the best part of the week on this channel. You may notice the green screen behind me. That was so I could show you my lovely Dollar Tree necklaces. You have to get festive, don't you? You have to get a little festive when it's a holiday, and the Dollar Tree makes it very cheap and easy to do that. So I did find a few minutes to get away, got out of the house a little bit with all the children the other day and went to the Dollar Tree, which was an absolute nightmare. Probably shaved a couple years off my life, but we did it. And I got these, and that was all for you all. That was all for the love of the Friday Night Live stream. Sandra, BJ, Robert, who is a special guest on tonight's show, Sue, Patrice, Abby, Jess, thank you all for joining the stream. Chrissy in the background, running the old moderation for me tonight. Appreciate each and every one of you. Good evening, Janetta. Welcome to the stream. Or Jeanette. Sorry, I read that too quick, I think. But I appreciate each and every one of you for joining tonight. So it has been a wild week for me. Let me just give you a rundown of the week that I have had. So this week, I have spent the majority of the week at home with my 4 children, ages 3 to 9, who are homeschooled. So they are home 24/7, 365, typically with my wife, but my wife has been down with strep throat for the 3rd time in 4 months. It has been one of those weeks in the Knapp household, but I was thankful that my wife was able to get good medical care. She's on an antibiotic. Thankfully, we know what's going on now, and she is getting some help and with the antibiotic, starting to maybe turn a corner. We're going to knock on wood. And I got some special time with kids this week. So that's always fun to do. It's a ton of work. It makes me very thankful for my wife and what she does every day for our family. I'm always aware of what she does, always thankful for what she does, but never more aware and more thankful than the weeks that I have to fill in and do her job. So I am so thankful for her. So yeah, we've got a great show despite my lack of time to prepare for the show tonight. We do have a great show. I did get an interview in with Robert Armstrong of Armstrong Health and Fitness. He's got a channel on YouTube here that is linked in the description of this video. So I hope after the stream, you'll get a chance to get over and visit Robert's channel, give him a subscribe. Just going to respond a little bit. We're going to spend some time in the chat tonight because unlike last week where I had a lightning rod fake news segment, I don't have one that's that much of a lightning rod this week, and so it won't take as much time. So I do want to spend a little bit more time in the chat. I missed interacting with you all last week. Sue says this is the best crew on YouTube, and I could not agree more with that statement. Led by you, Sue. You're one of my favorite members, a great contributor to the channel. I appreciate you. BJ said, sorry to hear that about my wife. Thank you. Robert says, hope she feels better soon, as does Patrice. Abby said, did you homeschool them or did they get the week off? So we did not really do much homeschooling this week. Actually, it was a little bit challenging because my wife was not the only sick one in the house. My daughter, I think probably had the same thing, strep, something like that. And then my oldest son, Sawyer, was up all night with the pukes a couple of nights ago. So we abstained, but it is also spring break week. So we do kind of observe that in our house. They'd have a homeschool co-op that they go to every week. So they were off there. And then my oldest two, they also do a couple days at a local school, a local Christian school. They, just a couple hours a day. It's not much, but they were off there too. So really they were off anyway. So that made it easy. It was very difficult for me in the sense that I really did not get to do much for my real job. And that's always frustrating. So just basically took a few vacation days and just leaned into the week that we were handed and let it be what it was. And it's always great to be home with the kids. And I really do enjoy them. They're at a very fun age. I was interacting with somebody earlier this week, and I had mentioned that, these days can be very long in this season of life, but the years are very short. So that is something that I try to remind myself of pretty routinely when those days do feel a little bit longer. So yeah, and Abby says it's nice that you can be flexible like that. Yeah, it's nice to have an understanding employer and have the time to take off, right? Not everybody has that luxury. So I'm certainly happy to have it. So I've got the green screen going behind me. That was so that I could show you these here. I'm probably going to run the normal background, but it does kind of work, right, for St. Patrick's Day. We're going to talk a little bit about St. Patrick's Day. I did a little bit of research on St. Patrick so I could kind of go through what St. Patrick's Day means with my kids, and I learned a couple things that I thought were super cool. One of the other things is that I wanted to show you is this guy sits with me on every live stream. This is Snoop on a Stoop, and Snoop is usually the Knapp family answer to Elf on a Shelf, but Snoop really looks the part for St. Patrick's Day, don't you think? Yeah. Love it. So yeah, he sits here next to me, watches me do all my live streams. So yes, gotta love Snoop on a Stoop for St. Patrick's Day. Well, let's get into the show. Let's get into what everybody's here for. Let's talk a little bit about what's fresh this week, should we? What is fresh? So it's a couple things. I always like to shout out those who chose to become members in the last week. And I want to give a special shout out this week to Patricia Green. Funny that on St. Patrick's Day, Patricia Green joined the channel. Patricia is not going to be able to be on Friday Night Live tonight, but in the members only chat prior to Friday Night Live, she did mention that she was here in spirit. So we're happy to have her as a member of the channel and happy to have her as a subscriber, and appreciate her, and as well as each and every one of you that are here tonight. Hey, has anybody found, I'm not sure, but has anybody found, oh, it looks like Abby did, Sandra did. Yeah, we found the special Easter egg, or should I say the St. Patrick's Day egg emoji. Yeah, so special emoji in there for St. Patrick's Day. For those of you who caught that right away, that's awesome. I didn't even have to tell you. You just found it. So that's kind of fun. Yeah, so, and I should throw him up here because I made a little St. Patrick's Day guy here for everyone to enjoy, in case you can't tell what he is in that tiny little emoji. It's a little leprechaun who found the Mounjaro at the end of the rainbow. For some of you, I think it's probably feeling that way, like a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. If you're able to get your monthly Mounjaro right now, I know that it's one of those things. Again, the dosages are intermittently out, hard to come by, and yeah. So I hope for those of you who are joining tonight that you're able to find your fills and get your Mounjaro and stay on the moon, right? Janetta, welcome to the stream. Appreciate you joining tonight. Anybody here who's new, like Sue said, welcome to the stream. I appreciate each and every one of you. Welcome to our friends over on Facebook. Something broke with my connection with Twitch this week, and I didn't have the ability to fix it. So we're just Facebook and YouTube tonight, but that's all right. So what is fresh besides Patricia joining the channel? Well, I do just want to talk to you a little bit about St. Patrick's Day, because I found out some interesting information when I looked up what St. Patrick's Day is and who St. Patrick was. I don't know that I ever have really taken the time to do that. But St. Patrick, he lived around 300 AD. So 300 years after the death of Christ, which is kind of cool, because all of human history is recorded by the birth and death of Jesus Christ. The BC, meaning before Christ, and the AD, meaning Anno Domini, which is the year of our Lord. So after the birth of Christ. I actually think it's after the death of Christ. But regardless, St. Patrick kind of was kidnapped and brought to Ireland as a young man, and is responsible for bringing the good news of Jesus Christ to much of Ireland, and then using the three-leaf clover to explain the beauty and the magic, the wonder of the Trinity, the three parts making one whole. And I never knew that, and I thought that's a pretty cool thing. So that is St. Patrick. It's not just about green beer, surprisingly, just like Easter's not about a bunny and Christmas isn't about Santa Claus. St. Patrick was actually a real person who was responsible for telling a lot of people about Jesus, who sure, not everybody here is a follower of Jesus, but certainly all of human history is recorded by his time before he walked this earth and the time after he walked this earth. And so a important historical figure at a minimum. And if you believe his claims, the savior of the world. And I do. And I think that that's fantastic. So yeah. Anyway, thank you all for joining. I see some new faces in the stream. NC, welcome to the stream. I appreciate you joining. Miss Tapman, welcome to the stream. You got the 15 yesterday. Sue got his batch of 15 earlier today. Something else that's fresh this week is I can't remember whether I've shared on the stream or not. I had a faulty pen a couple of weeks ago. Basically, I clicked it. When I clicked it, what happened was it did what it normally does, but when it came out, like click into that second click, it came out, but so did all the liquid. And so I basically like missed a shot that week. I called Lily and they sent a replacement in. This was a few weeks ago, but just thought I'd report that was a pretty painless process. They called my local pharmacy here. I had a fill on file there, and apparently I can go pick up a replacement box on Monday. So kudos to the customer support team at Eli Lilly and my local pharmacy for working with them. So I will be getting a replacement box. So that's pretty cool. Has anybody else had a pen malfunction? That was the first one that I had do that. I sort of wondered if it was related to the fact that that batch, when it was delivered, was stuck in the mail for a period of time, and it was like historically cold in the Midwest, and I just didn't know if something had frozen and gotten goofed up that way. They certainly thought that if those pens could freeze, not just the medication itself, but the components of it, that could certainly lend itself to some sort of malfunction with the pen. So anyway, that's just kind of a cool thing to share, that Lily's support was very easy to work with on the replacement as well. Dave says she's been on Miss Tapman said, Dave, I've been on a stall for 4 weeks between 201 and 205, and I can't get past 201. So Miss Tapman, I think you've probably heard me say that was basically the month of February for me. I really had to buckle down on my diet, and I know that a lot of people already are, but I didn't lose any weight really for that month. I started Weight Watchers 2 weeks ago, and I'm down 9 pounds since starting Weight Watchers. So I've really been buckling up my diet, and that has helped. And Mounjaro has been a great help to do that because, I'm eating normal people food and feeling normal people full. It's just that I'm paying a lot more attention to what that food is right now with the help of Weight Watchers. Ken Lee, welcome to the stream. Appreciate you joining, buddy. He said, hey, he had that happen too. Talked to Lily, and they had had me send the pen to them. Nothing but cricket sense, and that was early November. That's very interesting, Ken. I would. They said the same thing, keep the pen, which I did, but I certainly wasn't going to give it to them unless they gave me a replacement. What I did was I called and followed up a couple of times with Lily on this because it was about a month ago, and they said it can take 30 days. But on this last call to them today, I was like, hey, it's been 30 days. What's up? They said, well, when you call back to your pharmacy, if you want to expedite this, just have the pharmacy call us, call the same number, and I can share that number with you, Ken. And basically, my pharmacy called, they got a hold of somebody right away. They gave them this voucher code, and then they got it filled. So maybe call your pharmacy. I don't know. That's my best. And especially, Ken, because of your specific situation, I would not let that one go. Abby said, great that it's an easy process. NC said, I pressed the button too early, shot across the room. Oh my gosh. I bet that was at least something to watch. That had to been impressive. Like how much distance did that thing get? Cause it comes in with some force. Sandra's stalling too. Abby's been on a stall for almost 5 weeks now. Sue said, Dave is Eli Lilly on speed dial. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I've pretty much got them on speed dial. I've done many, many calls with Lily to get answers to things for the channel and documented some of that stuff. So yeah, they're for sure on speed dial. For those of you facing a stall, I was facing the same thing. I basically decided I have to do something different, right? I can't keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. So that was Weight Watchers for me. I'm not sure what it is for you. BJ asked me on the stream last week, hey, do you recommend that I go on Weight Watchers or other people go on Weight Watchers? And to be honest with you, my answer to that is I don't feel qualified really to share what is ideal and what is not ideal for people. I do know that the reason that I use it, sorry, I just have to do something with the stream here. So ignore me looking off to the side here. I do feel like anybody who has a really unhealthy relationship with food, or especially like me, I've said, I feel like food has been a moral decision for me a lot of times. Like if I'm eating a certain food that I'm being naughty, and I use that language because I have 4 small kids, but you know what I mean? I feel like I'm doing something wrong. And so what Weight Watchers has done is it's kind of taken the morality out of that for me. And because I've been able to do that, I can look at this simple point system and just go, yeah, I mean, it's points. It's not that I'm making a naughty decision or whatever. It's just a choice that I'm making to use up more points here. And I know that I only have that many points left for the day. So if that sounds appealing to you, I certainly recommend Weight Watchers to you, but it's certainly not the only thing that's out there. But I happen to love it. And it happens to be in the news right now. So I just want to also take a moment and thank you, Janetta. I'm sorry, TJ. Sorry, I was looking at that wrong. Janetta's already a member of the stream. Janine became a member of the channel. Thank you so much for becoming a member. If you are interested in becoming a member like Janine and getting access to exclusive Man on the Mounjaro content, the link is in the description of this video, and it works. I went back through, had to change a bunch of links that weren't working exactly properly, and I want you to know that I would love to have you as a member of the channel. If you would like to give back in that way, would love to have you. So yeah, that is linked in the description. Thank you so much for joining, TJ. So happy to have you on the stream. So, fake news. Should we talk about some fake news? Finally, I know you've tried to make it work time and time again. I finally got apparently a link that actually works for people. So they don't make it super easy if you're an iPhone user for whatever reason. So yeah, we're going to get into Fake News Friday before we get into our hot channel. Should we run a little Fake News Friday, folks?
You are fake news.
Fake News Friday. So there's an article that came out from Newsweek, and excuse me reading my notes on my phone. Usually have them. I'm much more prepared usually for this, but I just simply did not have the opportunity to do so this week, given the week that I've had. I'm sure that you can all understand. But there was an article that I caught from, let's see, who was it? Newsweek. And they basically posted an article that talked about how GLP-1s are basically contributing to eating disorders. And that was kind of the title of the headline of their article was that, hey, this is causing all sorts of issues for people that have struggled with food related mental illnesses like anorexia, and just, kind of sensationalized that, and then talked again about how there are celebrities that are on GLP-1s that don't really have much weight to lose, and all this nonsense. And honestly, it was just kind of another one of those frustrating articles to read, because of course there's people with those kind of issues, but there's also much more accessible drugs to those people, like phentermine, that are super cheap. They're given out like candy. GLP-1s, probably not the medicine to go after, but it's sensational, right? And it gets clicks, and that's what it comes down to. Everybody is selling clicks these days, and it doesn't matter at what expense. They sensationalize potential side effects and things like that, which is just so frustrating to see, because, like I said last week on my commentary on Candace Owens, like at a minimum, it's like just false information, but at worst, it's keeping people from getting treatments that can help save their life and reverse the course of their life in a very positive way, and to fight obesity in the same way that we fought other diseases. So so just another kind of piece of fake news this week. that I wanted to just touch base with on the channel. Again, sorry, I don't have a whole lot of content on the little sidebars that we do here before the interviews, but just a couple things that caught my eye this week. Wanted to share them with you. Definitely appreciate each and every one of you for being here tonight. I see that Michelle was able to join on a quick road trip and was able to pop in and say hi. Michelle, welcome to the stream. Thank you for being a member. Thank you for being a moderator. Thank you for being one of the best parts of this channel. I appreciate you. Cheryl, welcome to the stream as well. So we've got a great interview for you this week. Abby with the super chat. Thank you. She has to cut out early, but it's going to catch up with the recording. I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate the prayers and appreciate you being one of the earliest fans of this channel. Thank you so much, Abby. Appreciate you. Have a great night. Thanks for joining. Yeah, thank you for the super chat. Very nice of you. So yeah, we've got an interview with Robert Armstrong. Robert has got a channel here on YouTube. He's been on Mounjaro. He and his wife, actually. You'll hear a little bit more about that. Robert, like myself, is a salesman who travels a lot of time. He's on the road, and it's just one of those things that becomes very difficult to manage your health in a good and positive way when you're on the road. So Robert and I had a lot to talk about and a lot in common. And again, his channel's linked in the description if you'd like to get over and check out his channel. But he is the hot channel this week. So we're going to roll the bumper.
Hot channel.
The hot channel this week, Robert Armstrong. So without further ado, I'm going to roll the interview with Robert Armstrong. It is that time of night where we bring in an interview. We do these fairly routinely over the last month or two with Friday Night Live. And I am excited to welcome in somebody that I've been talking to for a while now, since he basically kind of came on the scene, started making his videos about Mounjaro and his health journey. His name is Robert Armstrong. His handle is at Armstrong Health and Fitness. And we're going to bring Robert into the stream and chat a little bit tonight about his journey and some of the things that we have in common. And without further ado, I'd like to bring in Robert. Robert, welcome to the stream.
Hey, welcome, Dave, and thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I appreciate you joining, taking some time out of your schedule to contribute to the channel and contribute to Friday Night Live here. So your channel, Armstrong Health and Fitness, has kind of, like many channels, certainly like mine, it started with your own journey on Mounjaro and has kind of followed that journey. Can you just give the viewers who maybe are not familiar with your channel just a brief synopsis of kind of where you started and what the channel has evolved into today?
Well, my channel started originally was I was going to do a video log of my particular journey, and I wanted to be able to just keep track of my own. Then at my wife's suggestion, she's like, hey, why don't you share that? Because there might be other people out there that could benefit from that story, and it would help them on their own journey. So when I started it, it was my weight loss journey. And then I've progressed throughout this. It's become a health and fitness journey. But on my health and fitness journey, that includes weight loss. Because for me, the healthy weight is a big key to health and fitness, right? So that's kind of what I've done. And I try to find key points and focus that can really help other people so they can benefit on their own journey.
Excellent. So one of the unique things I think that you have going on, and Mimi has this going on as well, maybe some others in the community do as well, but I'm not aware of it. Your wife has been on the Mounjaro journey as well with you, not maybe since day one. How long has she been taking Mounjaro?
So my wife started exactly 4 weeks after I did. So she saw my results after the first month, and she decided that she wanted to get on the same journey. And she started, like I said, a month later.
Awesome. So what's that? I mean, has that been an encouraging thing for you? I mean, I would think if my wife was kind of going through the same journey with me, that would be a really cool thing to go through. Seems like a unique experience.
So no, it's been a great experience for me. And the great thing is my wife is also a registered nurse. So as we go through the different speed bumps, you know, some of the challenges you have with side effects in the early phases until you kind of adjust, she helped me with different things to be able to know what to do and what to adapt in addition to what I learned online from others. But it's been very good. And to be completely honest, as well as I'm happy with the success I've had, I've watched her, wish she would let me share her story, but so far, no. But she has actually done better percentage of body weight wise than what I have.
Well, that's awesome. Neither of you happen to be type 2 diabetic, correct?
No, neither of us are type 2 diabetic. Now, what I can tell you was I was up to like a 6 and she was like a 6.1. So our numbers were getting closer and closer to where we didn't want them to be. But this was a major prevention and the thing that helped us get on the right track and make sure we got our health getting aligned to where it needs to be.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, certainly anything over 6, you're starting to creep up into that pre-diabetes territory. So have you guys done any testing of your sugars or had any lab work to see where your sugars are just, comparatively, or not so much?
So we are getting ready to do that. It's going to be about my day 150. I'm about day 135 right now. And it's kind of corresponding because at my work, we do a biometrics and it's going to correspond with that date. Since it's covered by my work, I just kind of waited to that time frame that it need to be submitted. But getting ready to do that, and I'll even do some updates and I'll even share the differences because I had to do blood work before I started, the same with my wife, before the doctor would prescribe it. So that way I can do a compare and contrast and see where it is. I'm anxious to see that.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see that too. I think it'll obviously be lower, but I think it'll be interesting to see if you obviously you're going to continue on past Mounjaro with you seem like a laser focused guy. You're going to continue on with your health journey and everything. It'll be interesting to see if your sugars kind of creep back up that way, or if Mounjaro kind of helped reverse that pre-diabetes for you. It'd be interesting to see in that regard too.
Well, one of the things about the sugars, and I've noticed with some of the kids around the house, I said, who's trying to put the temptation out here? There's some candy that I would used to eat. It is that really sugary stuff. My wife's always called it the kid candy, but I've walked past it. There's been no temptation. That's the thing that Mounjaro has done. It's really turned off that switch. Now, I wish that I was able to stay on Mounjaro well past the April 1st deadline. Now, I will be able to get a box and carry through the end of April, maybe by doing every 2 weeks to be able to carry it out. But it really has helped me turn that off. And I'm really planning on keeping the focus. I'm trying to be, like I said, laser focused as much as possible so that going forward, I don't revert back to the habits that caused me to get that way. Because you mentioned the sugars, and I never realized in the past the connection with sugars and high blood pressure. And if you've heard some of my story, that was pretty much in the danger zone. And my wife was constantly worried about it.
Yeah, I remember I wasn't necessarily aware of the correlation between high blood sugars and high blood pressures, but it makes sense. I mean, your sugars are high, it's taxing on your entire metabolic system. So that makes sense to me. I do remember watching one of your earlier videos. It was maybe, within a month of you starting to make videos, and you had, maybe it was Halloween candy, or maybe it wasn't Halloween, but you had gone to the store to purchase some candy, maybe for your daughter or something like that. And you're like, in the past, I would have not been able to avoid that temptation. And now with the Mounjaro, it just wasn't a thing.
Yeah, no, my habits had become to the point that if I bought them a bag of candy to have, which they will eat over a series of days, I would buy that bag of candy and it would have been nothing for me to eat that on one road trip, through my work travels.
Yeah, I have found the same thing. And that's a nice little segue into another topic that I wanted to talk to you about is the travel. So you and I both travel for work. We're both sales guys. We both actually just went to trade shows and kind of went through that whole routine of eating out with customers, being exposed to foods that, you're not always around. And I think both of us kind of had that, gift of Mounjaro moment where it just, you're just not eating and indulging like you were before, because like I always say on this channel, I can eat normal people food, but I just eat normal people portions and I feel normal people full. And I think for some people, they would say normal people food, but they feel abnormally full. I just feel what I feel like is about normal. But what I found in my travels this last week, which were not airplane travel, it was driving travel. That to me was a big challenge because you're driving down the road for hours on end. I don't know about you, but I was traveling by myself. So there's boredom. And when you talk about eating, a bag of candy on a trip, it's just easy to do when you're bored. And there's constantly signs reminding you, hey, there's a gas station coming up here, or here's a fast food restaurant that maybe you don't have at home and it's coming up. And it's like, it's something to do. It's very difficult to be on the road.
Oh, no, absolutely. It's very challenging on the road. And like you said, I mean, there was times I would leave Southern Illinois and I would drive to Nebraska. I even drove as far as like North Dakota to Fargo at one point in time instead of flying. And when you start making those trips, and even the more fatigued I get, the worse my decision-making ability would become, because I'm like, hey, I need something to help me keep going. And next thing you know, I'm getting that sugary snack or that sugary drink or that energy drink or something that's going to keep me going. And it's that boredom that you're talking about that really caused you to do it. And one of the things I've done to combat that is I've started to bring my own snacks, and I've been very controlled on what the proportion might be. Even when I bring my snacks, the snacks that I know that I'm not going to eat, I keep them in the back of the car. And the ones that I know that I can eat that I've already allocated for, I put them maybe up in the front in the passenger seat next to me, so that I am trying to limit my compulsive behavior on that, if that's what you want to call it, where you're just eating out of habit or out of boredom.
Yeah, that's a great tip, and maybe something that I need to be. I've done that on trips that I fly on. So I'll pack things that I can have in the hotel so that I've got good healthy options to have, instead of going down and, usually it's just junk that they have at a hotel, or there's DoorDash, which is more junk. But I haven't been as intentional when I'm on the road driving, and I probably should be more intentional in that way than I am even when I fly. But yeah, that's a great tip to give people. I know that one of the things that I've identified in myself is it's not even just limited to necessarily driving and being on work trips that I eat out of boredom or repetition or timing. That's one of the things that Mounjaro has helped me to identify, is like, I want to eat because the clock says it's noon, but my body is not telling me that I need to eat. It's my brain that's saying it's time to eat. And so being able to kind of differentiate what those triggers are, I think, is another gift of Mounjaro, that I don't know that, I could identify those if I was being very intentional, but I think Mounjaro was the gift that like helped me to even know that I needed to identify those triggers, like eating out of habit, stuff like that.
No, absolutely. So, I got onto this bad habits because it even goes back as far as 2017. I can look at my Lose It app and I can look at the mountain of ups and downs and peaks and valleys in my weight loss journey. Well, 2017, I lost my dad, and almost immediately I gained several pounds. So then I'd work on it. I'd lose a few pounds. And then in 2018, I had a job. I had a nice position at a company, and I began to worry when I saw that job was going away. They were making some downsizing. How am I going to take care of my family? Because as somebody who likes to provide for the family, I began to worry about it. There goes my weight going back up when I knew that was going away. Another peak, another valley. And so one of the things that was happening is it was stress that was coming into play. It was the boredom from the driving and things like that. And then the Mounjaro, I was sitting at the doctor's office, and I'm like, I said, I wish there was just something that I could get that would help me to change this pattern and this habit, because once I can break the habit, then I can get back to the regular me, the person that did never do that previously. And she originally said, hey, we can get you on Wegovy. And that was back during the time. So I started on October 29th with my Mounjaro journey. And that was back whenever Wegovy was in limited supply. So I go to CVS to pick it up and say, hey, we don't have Wegovy, but we have Mounjaro. We got it's equivalent to that or very similar to it. We're going to go ahead and get that for you. So that's actually how I got on my Mounjaro journey. And I'll tell you what, it has been a godsend because it changed those habits almost instantaneously. The last time I had candy of any kind was the first week, and that was a Reese's cup. And that was like 2 or 3 days after my first shot. And ever since then, it has not had any appeal or any interest to me at all.
Oh, that's a gift. That's a gift, especially if you're a guy who enjoyed sweets. I know I'm not actually, being an overweight guy, a lot of people just assume, oh, you eat donuts and ice cream and candy and all, and those really have not ever been my downfall. It's just been portion control, the things that I do eat. But I do remember back to the month before I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, I had bought a bag of Reese's peanut butter cups that sat in my car, and they never made it in the house. And over the course of about a week, that bag just got eaten. And so I was in a bit of denial when I went to the doctor and got tested, and hey, you're diabetic. I was like, well, maybe it's because I've just been eating all this candy lately. No, I'm type 2 diabetic, and that probably wasn't helping me, but it also wasn't the reason that I was registering as type 2 diabetic.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the portion control. That is the one thing I've noticed with Mounjaro. I can have a plate. It doesn't matter how big the plate is. I'll reach a point where all of a sudden that bite was fine. Then the very next bite, it's almost like there's that shut off switch. And the thing is, you just know, and you have to teach myself to make sure I don't take that extra bite, because Mounjaro, it says, hey, you are full. And when you are full, it's time to stop. And that's that portion control you're talking about. It gives you that ability to have the portion control.
Yeah. And I've had the same experience where I feel like you do kind of get to that point. And then if you allow yourself to eat past that point, you pay a pretty big tax.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's whenever you start getting the heartburn, the indigestion, and that becomes the rough night of sleep for me. I'm getting up, taking me some Alka-Seltzer chews, or I'm doing something else, and those are the nights I don't sleep very well. So whether I want to eat that extra or not, I've told my mind, it's like, hey, it's time to turn that off, because I want to be able to sleep tonight. I don't want that irritation in my stomach. I want to feel well. And we've all heard the stories around the channels of other people having those variations of pains and different things at different times. So yeah, you just got to learn to stop at the right point.
Yeah. One of the things that I have had to learn about myself, I mean, I knew this going in, but I've had to regulate it, is how fast I eat. Because I tend to be the type of guy who just eats very fast. And when you do that, you don't get those signals as soon as you should sometimes. So you might not even feel full, but you eat past the point of being full and the signals catch up. And then, I mean, there's been it was early on in my Mounjaro journey, probably on the 5 milligram dose, where I had a normal night, we had a normal dinner, and I ate a normal amount for me. Right. I was eating fast. I think it was one of those deals where I hadn't eaten very much that whole day. And so when it was time to eat, I was ready to eat a meal. I ate it too fast, and I didn't get out of bed the rest of the night. I paid a big burden tax.
Absolutely. Right. That's whenever you got to learn, because I would do the same thing at times. I would just grab my food. I would eat it pretty quickly. And I think it's part of the nature of the job that we have in the travel. You're on to see the next person. You're on to see the next customer. You got a schedule that you have to meet. And whenever you're like, oh, I'm going to grab a quick bite to eat, that quick bite to eat becomes that, hey, I'm scarfing it down real quick because I got this 1 o'clock appointment. It's already 12:30, but I don't want to be going into an 1.5 to 2 hour meeting and not having ate yet, because, well, I don't want that distraction. So I would do that. And that's, I think, what led to me to get into eating faster at different times as well.
Yeah, I can 100% identify with that, that schedule and that rush, and just feeling like you need to on to the next thing. And when you incorporate that into the way that you eat, it's not always a good recipe. So those are excellent. You've given some excellent tips, and kind of, this has been some great conversation around Mounjaro. I want to just kind of close by having you tell everybody a little bit about, what you envision for the future of Armstrong Health and Fitness, from the channel, what they can expect if they go there and subscribe to your channel.
So, as you talked about on your live earlier this week, where you talked about, some of the things they said on Weight Watchers, where they talked about the lean body mass loss and things like that. I want to be able to bring topics like that are relevant to people, so that they can make decisions that are informed and educated, and bring relevant topics to people that can help them on their journey. Because when you start seeing things like potential for lean body mass being of your weight loss being up to 40%, when you start thinking about that includes body water, which most people don't get concerned about that. It includes muscle tissue, but it also can include the bones and some soft tissue. I just don't want to see people in a situation to where, if they can avoid that type of loss, because some of it's going to be inevitable just due to the nature of the quantities of weight loss. But if they can avoid that and they find ways to do it, and you probably have seen and heard that if you increase your protein intake and you have the ability to get moving, and I know that that's different for each entire person, but I try to bring some educational ideas whenever it comes to exercise. One thing I've got coming up soon is I'm going to be doing I got a chiropractor friend, going to do an interview with him and just talk about how somebody can go from sedentary to active. And if somebody has things like knee issues or hip issues, how they can incorporate things like water exercises, if that's an option. So it takes the pressure off, but it also allows them to get moving and increase their calorie intake, because we all try to increase our calorie deficit. Our calorie deficit, so that we can lose more weight, right? So if I do 300 calories of that 300 calories that per day from my diet. But if I can get a couple hundred extra calories from exercise, then I'm looking at a 500 calorie deficit per day, for example. Just a little bit of difference that it makes. And, I want to be able to share the story about how much difference also it has made for me to be able to start exercising and the extra step, extra hop in my step, how much better I feel. I had a friend who called me yesterday and he said, how do you feel now that you've really lost the weight and you've been exercising? I said, I feel like I've taken like 10 years off my life. I feel tremendously better.
That's awesome. As you're kind of saying that, I'm thinking you have lost how much weight so far?
I have lost 63 pounds.
Yeah. So when you lose that amount of weight, you were up from like the 280s, right? 280s, 290.
So my weight on October the 29th was 290 pounds.
Okay. And you've taken off that much weight. I think for a lot of people, as that weight comes off, they're going to feel the energy that they need to be able to do that. And I think that your channel is going to be a good channel to follow if you're looking to get moving, if you're looking to get started, especially if you're one of the folks who are watching this interview and looking at having to go off of Mounjaro and what does your journey look like beyond that. I think Robert's going to have some great insight into that. I hope that you'll get over and give his channel a sub. That's at Armstrong Health and Fitness. Robert, I really appreciate you joining me today. But everybody be watching this on Friday night. Appreciate you joining the stream and contributing. And anything else you'd like to say to the folks before we sign off here?
No, it's just, thank you, Dave, for having me. And I really enjoy watching your channel and the insight that you provided on Mounjaro. It's great and it's helpful to me. And I know it's helpful to a lot of others. So thank you for the message that you bring out there. You're a true benefit.
Oh, my pleasure. I appreciate you saying that, Robert. Robert, thanks for joining. And we'll catch you again sometime soon.
All right. Thank you. Have a great day, man.
You too. Robert Armstrong at Armstrong Health and Fitness. Please make sure you get over and give his channel a sub. You're going to really enjoy his videos. Appreciate Robert joining us on the stream today. Robert Armstrong, thank you for joining me for that interview. So helpful. Anybody else out there travel for work? Traveling is a trap for me. It is a huge trap for me because I do not regulate the amount of food that I eat as well as I do when I'm at home in such a controlled environment. So I really appreciated rapping back and forth with Robert, who has a channel over here on YouTube. It's at Armstrong Health and Fitness. If you want to check out his channel, I really appreciate him joining the stream. We had been planning on this for a while now, and his Mounjaro journey has been kind of up and down. He's been one of those people who his access to Mounjaro has been less than ideal. And so yeah, it sounds like he's had some good news. He's going to be on it a little bit longer than he thought he was going to be able to. So that's awesome. I hope that his blood pressure stays controlled. Just one of the many, many gifts of Mounjaro. Looks like we've had some other folks join the stream, kind of midstream. Themby, thank you for joining. She said that Mounjaro keeps me from eating as fast as I used to as well. I start feeling sick even before I feel satiated when I start mindlessly scarfing down food. Yeah, I wish that it would help me to eat slower. It doesn't help me eat slower, but it certainly catches up with me a lot quicker when I do eat fast. And it's like, whoa. And then all of a sudden it's just too much. So yeah, it is one of the many gifts of Mounjaro is for me, again, eating normal people food at normal people portions and feeling normal people full. It continues to do that for me at the 15 milligram dose. Even better than it did on the other doses as well. So I'm so thankful, and also so thankful for being able to have access to Mounjaro and not having any issues. I haven't had any issues. I think I had to skip a dose or two. Like I skipped the 7.5, I skipped the 12.5. The 7.5 was an accessibility issue. The 12.5 was more that I was on the 10, and my doctor was just like, if you're tolerating it well, go ahead and move up. But yeah, it's a challenge to travel for sure for me. It's easy to mindlessly eat. We were kind of sharing back and forth in the chat what some of our tips and tricks are. This is a little plug for Coast to Coast AM, which is ever since I was in high school has been one of my favorite AM radio channels to follow. If you've never followed Coast to Coast, it's like got like Sue said, like all the spooky topics that keep your mind engaged. And that is a great way, especially on like a 15-hour drive, to just keep your mind consumed with something other than every sign that you pass. It's like Taco Bell, Sonic, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, all those things. And then you're like, I ate 25 minutes ago, but I could eat again. That's how I roll, literally on the road. That's how I roll. Ken's got a trip coming up in a couple weeks that he's been planning. So yeah, I knew, I was thinking about you, Ken, when we did this interview, because you had commented on a previous video that I did. Trying to think what video that was. I think it was when I was traveling for work back in Arizona a few weeks ago when I got the chance to meet Michelle Hess. But yeah, I was thinking about you when we made this video, because it is hard. It is hard. And one of the things that Robert had said that I thought, we talked a lot outside of the time that we recorded, so I can't remember if this is part of the recording or not, but he had mentioned, just planning by packing snacks with him. And I always do really good when I'm traveling on an airplane. I pack like healthy snacks to eat in a hotel. I don't always do a greatest job of doing that when I'm in the car. So yeah, Dejanine is a flight attendant. I think I did know that, which is awesome. And I'm sure that you have a lot. TJ, you should come on and talk about a little bit more about the travel sometime. I would love to chat with you a little bit about that, because it's got to be a challenge. I see the flight attendants a lot snacking on things, and I don't think it's what they brought on what they have on the plane, which is pretty limited. So I'd love to chat with you a little bit more about that. Joe Crypto said MJ will go down in history for fixing things that was not intended to. I think GLP-1s in general will. There's a lot, this channel has been so cool, because this channel has connected me to some people that don't even necessarily follow the Friday Night Lives or follow the channel that closely, but they know what I'm doing, and they've reached out and they've said, hey, I do this, I do that. And one of the folks that I got a chance to meet in the last couple of weeks is somebody who's deeply involved in clinical trials with another dual acting GLP-1, and it's GLP-1 and something else. I don't want to give too much information away, but this person is involved in clinical trials for this medication, and just being able to share information. There's more in the pipeline, and I've followed Eli Lilly very closely, but all the other drug manufacturers are just right on the heels as well with other advancements in GLP-1s. GLP-1s are going to be by way, and I firmly believe that this is because of the gut hormone thing, something that I still believe is not fully understood by science. But fixing those hormones and the cascading effects on not only your metabolic system, but your total overall health. It's just going to be amazing to see. I mean, just look at the vast number of things that they're testing Mounjaro for right now. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing what's in the clinical trials right now. The one I'm most excited about personally is the sleep apnea one, because I have sleep apnea and I have to sleep with a CPAP, and I friggin' hate it, but I have to. So gonna hit up a couple more things in the chat here. Ken, definitely enjoy your trip. I'm going to see some ballparks. I'm totally jealous, and I'm so excited to follow your journey. I'm sure you're going to chronicle that on YouTube. I hope you do. Sue likes keeping a cup of coffee when he drives, and he wants to know if I ever find myself waiting in the driveway for a show to end. Are you talking about Coast to Coast, or are you talking about Friday Night Live? I hope you're talking about Friday Night Live. And if so, you can be waiting a little bit, because we still got to bring Chrissy in. TJ said, cool, we'll get it done. TJ, send me an email at mounjaroman@gmail.com. I would love to have you on the stream. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, all right. Yeah. Chrissy, you ready to rock and roll? I'm getting a thumbs up from Chrissy, which is always positive. But see, my computer is getting really irritated with all the things I'm making it do right now. I'm going to roll a bumper here, because it's Cousins Challenge. Chrissy. I hope you had a worse week than I did.
Oh.
Whoa, look at that shirt. DK in the house, represent. Love the shirt. Where'd you find that?
Oh, I don't know. Some random website I was on one day.
T-Stream, I don't know. It might be down below if you look hard enough.
Might be.
Welcome to the stream, my cousin.
So, I didn't tell you that I told you I had good news.
You did.
I told you I had news. And you let the cat out of the bag by telling us that you lost 9 pounds.
Oh, yeah, but somebody would have really have been
Just
paying
to be
attention.
clear to everyone out there, I only came in after 8 of them.
Say that again.
So,
sorry, I got distracted.
our challenge, look over here. Our challenge didn't start till you had already lost 8, which means
Oh, right.
it was a draw last week. You lost
Yeah.
1 this week,
Yeah.
but I lost 2.
Oh man, and you already have like a 5-pound jump start on me, don't you?
2. I was 3, and you're a man. You have to think about losing weight, and it happens. Thus, you're 8 pounds your first week.
So I appreciate that. I had been on a 1-month stall before that, and I walked like 82 miles the week before that in Phoenix. But yeah, I
All right.
suppose
Well,
you're
if you want to
right. Here-
even the scale, we can put you down at 37 points a day.
here's the thing. I don't completely dismiss what you're saying because I do get 52 Weight Watchers points, and you get how many?
37.
Oh, I thought
37.
I thought you said you got like 20 some. Jenny only gets like 20 some. I'm like, maybe this isn't the plan for you.
Get into Jenny's clothes. I would eat 20 some points too.
Like I said, if I had 20 some points, I'd be like, I'd wake up, I'd sniff a donut, and then be like, I can't eat for the rest of the week. That's bad. I mean, that's brutal. Hey, can I pause real quick? There's the chat's on fire right now. Anne, welcome to the stream. Anne Brunzel. In a vehicle is a big trigger for her too. Yeah, welcome to my world. Something I did was have my car professionally clean, shampooed rugs, removed all the fries stuck in the seat, made a goal to keep it clean. That's a good goal because I saw Sue earlier said curly fries under the seat tell the story of his life, which totally makes me laugh because I was completely a Arby's worker very early on in my life. I was like 14 to 18. I worked at Arby's, and I wasn't fat before I worked a fast food job, but I think I got a little chunky after that. I would bring home roast beef by the pound, curly fries, the whole deal. It wasn't a good situation, and it didn't set me off for a good course in life. Jess said my dietitian was saying the same thing about gut health. She was saying that gut health plays a big part in mental health, which I didn't know. Yeah, Jess, I think this is a whole rabbit trail that I won't go down, but I am just going to Chrissy laughs because she's like, yeah, you are. Eli Lilly is obviously they have Mounjaro, which is the biggest, baddest mamba jamba on the block for GLP-1s. It also kind of leads the way in Alzheimer's research and Alzheimer's medication. And they are finding more and more links with gut health and Alzheimer's, calling the gut basically your second brain. And so they're finding all these links, and I am so excited. I just lost my grandpa on my dad's side of the family, so not Chrissy's grandpa, but I lost my grandpa to sweet Freddie back in October.
To be clear, he was kind of my family too. They all
our families, our families are uniquely close on all sides, but Freddie died of Alzheimer's, and about 2 weeks after his funeral, his wife, my grandma, God bless her, she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's as well. So, and both, I've got a lot of diabetes on that side of the family as well, and heart disease. My dad dying at 50, I think he was 52 when he died of a heart attack. So, yeah. That'll be interesting to see how that all shakes out, Jess. So that wasn't too bad of a rabbit trail. Emily, thanks for joining the stream again. A nurse, I think Emily's a nurse practitioner, as I recall. She says the permanence of cravings in the brain is fascinating. I wish we understood better why some of us are so susceptible and why many of us don't permanently revise those pathways. Great point. I've been reading some interesting back and forth. The Facebook forums have gotten very stale. The Facebook Mounjaro forums have gotten very stale, but every now and again, there's people get into a little back and forth about obesity. Actually, I think this came from a Weight Watchers one that I oddly had joined like 10 or 15 years ago. I went to join it and I was like, oh, I'm already a member. Don't even remember that. But there were some people going back and forth about obesity being an illness and being being treated as such. And there was a lot of back and forth, and I just found it fascinating. But, you know, it is a disease. I say anecdotally, this is my own experience, right? But I feel like obesity starts in the mind. It's a disease that starts in the mind, maybe as a mental illness, maybe mental illness is even overstating it. Just like you said, Chrissy, like we're taught to clean our plate. Like we don't get up from the table till our plate's clean, regardless of whether we're hungry, regardless of whether we like the food, regardless of what, like that's what you do. And not a knock against our parents. Like they're just doing what their parents did too, because they loved their kids and our parents loved us. And that's what was the right thing to do. Right. But as science may tell us, it might not have been the right way, you know, and especially for those of us who struggle with obesity, you know, I feel like it starts as these mental things and probably some things that we're genetically dispositioned to, right? And then it becomes a disease of the body because it wreaks havoc on your metabolism to be overweight, and especially to be on the kind of diet patterns that we've been on our entire adult lives. So yeah, something that's super, super interesting to study, Emily. And I'm sure that you have unique insight into that with your patients and seeing that every day. Sue said that the Under the Seat Curly Fries document is his life, and I totally agree with that.
Can I say two things?
Please do, yeah. Yes, because I just went on a rabbit hole.
I want to tell everybody that it didn't end with Arby's, that only was the gateway drug.
Arby's was
the OG.
I don't know.
Which is probably where more of the pounds were put on.
I came across a picture today. I did not upload it. I didn't have much time to be on my phone this week at all. It was just so crazy. But I had a memory come across when I was a manager at an Olive Garden for a lot of years. I mean, like almost 10 years I was with Olive Garden, and I put on 100 pounds working for Olive Garden. Like, you want to know another
sauce and breadsticks alone, or was there other?
Yeah, let's just say like you walk into an Olive Garden kitchen, you take a big sniff. That's
52 points.
I was gonna say that's 42 Weight Watchers points just smelling. And so yeah, being in there all day, I was probably consuming somewhere around 82,000 Weight Watcher points. And
I'm watching the chat.
Oh yeah, sorry. Is your chat moving?
The second thing was nursing or healthcare, because I feel for you guys and you're traveling, but I think that we have you. I am a nurse, if no one knows here. But healthcare, they bring the food to you.
Yeah.
Like all the time.
And isn't
like
it like
reps
it's like Eli Lilly rep
to you? Yes.
Eli Lilly's like, hey, we've got the best obesity medicine ever. Here's some breadsticks and some Alfredo and some fried chicken.
And let's talk about it.
On it. I used to have
tell you all about it.
Oh man, those drug reps would come in with their credit cards to Olive Garden and like, I don't know, how much can I get for $700? And I'm like, well, you could pretty much, I think, buy the store. Like, you can have that section of the store right there forever.
Right. And it's like unlimited, no limit on that card. You know, it only works at food places. Like,
right.
We used to have reps. We knew what they were going to bring based on what rep was coming. There was one that came from Des Moines, that there was only this sandwich shop in Des Moines. And so he would bring it every time. I mean, it's that terrible. And when you're trying to be healthy and they never bring you a salad, what is that?
No, we had somebody
bring Panera, but they don't bring the salad.
we had a rep come in one time and he's like, I'll take 4 of your jumbo salads and light dressing. And I ran the card and it was like declined. And then I added like 8 gallons of Alfredo to it and then it went through. The weirdest thing.
Right. They're like, you're not buying them enough.
Right. If you're not making those nurses fat and you're not doing your job. Yeah, no, I witnessed that firsthand. Some of the people who kept that place in business were the drug reps who would come in and they're like, I'm feeding like 46 people at a hospital. Like, what do I need? I'm like, well, you need 9 pans of lasagna and you need 8 pounds of chicken Alfredo. And like, I had a whole system down. So
I walked into the break room the other day and all of a sudden there was Girl Scout cookies and I was like, I didn't put them there. What happened here?
yeah.
Somebody goes, I don't know. I just started eating them. And I'm like, well, I'm going to back away slowly.
Yeah. You probably had like some super savvy Girl Scout sitting outside the Pfizer headquarters. Like, I take cards.
For sure. Yeah. Our troop has a Cash App
Yeah.
and a Venmo.
Right. There you go. Yeah. This counts. Oh my gosh.
But
okay.
I
So
want to preface my
yeah.
2-pound weight loss with, I know I've been driving you insane all week. Like when your family's like, oh, I don't talk to Dave much. He's always so busy. I'm like, I talk to him like every day.
Yeah. What the heck?
But that pint of ice cream that I ate on Sunday,
Yes. Yeah.
this snacksident of my life. Like I'm just gonna eat a few bites and I'm gonna give it to Cassie, and then by the end of it, I can't tell Cassie because I ate the whole thing. And then I'm like, well, Dave's gonna win this week. And then I was like on my A game with them points.
Good for you.
So
Chris.
I don't know. You win some, you lose some. I'm just gonna revel in it this week because I know it's not gonna be every week.
Well, that's awesome. And I honestly, Chrissy, like that is like the plug for Weight Watchers. I mean, I feel like what you had was a choice. It was a choice. And the Weight Watchers program, and I don't, it's not even Weight Watchers probably as much as it's just a commitment to tracking and the commitment to tomorrow. Like keto was the biggest tripping block for me. Right. And I still think keto is great. It has lots and lots and lots of health benefits. Like I'm not knocking it there's people who have a lot of success, and I did for years and years and years until I think it ultimately screwed my metabolism up, yo-yoing so much, whatever. But with keto, I would have a bad day and I'd be like, I'm screwed for like the next 4 days because I'm not going to be in ketosis. And like, it was very hard to get back on the horse if you had a bad day, or if you had like, hey, I'm going on a work trip and I'm just not going to do keto this week. I think that like having a bad day, you just get back on the horse. And I think that's like another win. Here I am plugging Weight Watchers again.
It's not on purpose.
Not my intention. I've had several people reach out to me this week. They're like, I started Weight Watchers this week because of your videos and blah, 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 blah. And that honestly is not my intention. I'm not like a Weight Watchers ambassador. I don't get anything if people sign up, and I wouldn't intentionally push people there. But this is one of the wins for me. At least it's just like there's some wiring that's not quite right up here, and it helps me with those.
These people are great. Now I just take a dozen pens and leave the food behind. I'm like, I know I need to work where you are. Let's go.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. No. Is that Magali? She's
I was
or
trying
he
to.
is onto something. I'm gonna go with she is onto something for sure.
Is there a nurse?
What's that?
Sorry, I'm sorry. I said why? Because they're a nurse. I don't mean to throw the.
Do with it.
We were non-controversial tonight. I should leave it there.
Exactly. Allure said, I'm on Mounjaro for type 2 diabetes. Me too. I'm finishing up week 10. I took 2.5 for a month and lost 32 pounds. That's the kind of story that I go like 32 pounds in 1 month on 2.5. I'm on 15. I'm on my second or third month now of 15, and I'm 32. I'm 31 pounds. I might be 32 now. I'm 32.
There's unicorns.
I'm 32
in every.
Exactly. I'm 32 exactly in 4 months, a little under 4 months. But I'm
Some
happy.
people are unicorns.
I'm thrilled with it. And Melissa H, who let me know she couldn't be here tonight for the stream, she would be reminding me like, you're not a slow loser. Stop saying that. Blah 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 blah. But that's the kind of story that I go, how? Please, I would have loved that. But I love. Here's a thought that I had this week, Chris, is so I am 4 months into this journey down 32 pounds on the money. And I thought about the last time I lost 30 pounds. the last time I lost 30 pounds was when you got me to do Optavia back in 2020.
2020.
Was it 2020? The year.
It was 2020.
The
It
year
was the
that
year.
the
I
year that shall not
isolated
be named.
you
Yeah.
and got your week.
Yeah.
Got you while you were weak.
Yep. You're like, he's at home, probably gaining weight like a banshee. I'm gonna get him on a call with Optavia, and and you did, and I did it, and you were doing so well.
What's funny is you came to me. Nobody knows that.
Okay, I'm sure I did. But like, that was the last time I lost that amount of weight, and I thought, okay, I lost 30 pounds, and I did it in a month. And by the end of about 4 weeks, 5 weeks, maybe 6 weeks max, I was like, screw this. I'm not doing this anymore. This is miserable. I'm not eating.
You had every excuse of why you couldn't do it.
I was like, I'm not eating this fake nasty food and pretending that I like it anymore. I can't do it because it just wasn't real food. It's like, here's a bar that was packaged in June of.
I can't give up my cappuccino though. I still drink it in the morning.
Yeah, and it's not to knock Optavia. Like, there's some good food, but like,
what other coffee you can drink that has 11 grams of protein?
True. But my point being, like, that was the last time I lost 30 pounds, and within 6 weeks, I was upset over it, whatever you want to say, and I had gained it all back within another probably 45 days, and then I just continued to climb. But now I'm 4 months into the Mounjaro journey, and I'm down 32 pounds, and it's still trending down. So, like, another gift of Mounjaro. Let's catch up with the chat a little bit here because it's still going. People are still watching, which is great.
I'm amazed every week.
Yeah. Lemmy said one of her Weight Watchers leaders used to say, if you get a flat tire, you don't slash the other three. So don't do that with your diet. That's great advice. Great way to put it.
I've said that.
Joe said keto combined with 16-hour fasting equals no calorie counting ever. I agree with that, Joe, too. And there's a whole like story. There used to be a day where I would look at that and I'd say preach. And I do think that comment completely has merit for a certain segment of the population, but not for me, because that was preached to me for so long that my wiring in my brain got like, if I'm eating, that I'm doing something bad. And like, it just wasn't right for me. But Joe, there's a ton of medical benefits to keto. There's a ton of medical benefits to intermittent fasting, tons of studies like it. I mean, I feel like there's a study for this and a study for that and everything, kind of like, especially for a diabetic, intermittent fasting is great because you're not making insulin like a type 2 diabetic. You're not making insulin. If you're type 2 diabetic, chances are you're insulin resistant. If you haven't treated it in some way with a GLP-1 or with diet, the best way to treat it is probably intermittent fasting and keto, right? So there's a lot of merit to it. There's so much wrong up here for me that's why I don't do that anymore. Magali said, I wish just plain writing pens instead of the Mounjaro pens, like Sue said. Yeah, the Mounjaro pens would be much more preferable. Robert said, I have almost only taken 5 milligrams, took 2.5 for the first month, one shot at 7.5, going back to the 5, lost 63 pounds. I mean, like, that's, again, I feel like that's the story of the non-diabetic who takes Mounjaro. Non-diabetics, non-insulin resistant people tend to lose very fast, but that's not to take away from all that Robert has done personally on his own journey to lose weight. He's super, super committed to working out and all that stuff. Themby's all about letting one screw up send me down a shame carb spiral. I hear that. Yeah. Janine says many are having weight loss success on 2.5. Who knew? Yeah. I mean, I think there's another channel. Amy Dene, who has really good videos. She's like does a video every day. I don't know how that lady does it. She does a video every day, and they manage to be really good most of the time that I catch them. Anyway, again, I said it before on the stream. I can't keep up with all the videos, but her videos are always good. And 2.5 milligrams she's been on, and she's lost like a whole pile of weight. So good for her and good for people who are losing on 2.5. I'm on 15, and yeah, I wish I would have seen that success on 2.5. Maybe I would have had I stayed there. I don't know. Themby's all about letting. Oh, sorry, I already read that one. Sue said, "Why would a doctor insist on keeping a type 2 diabetic at 5 milligrams? Is there a medical reason?" Yeah, I don't know who was the one who said that. I don't even remember, but yeah, the 5 milligram. The biggest benefit for the diabetic is going to be at those upper numbers, and the studies show that. Emily says she thinks a lot of medical providers are reconsidering plateaus. I'd love to hear that. I'd love to hear more about that. NC is in 4 weeks down 6 pounds and needs 30 more. Oh my gosh. I can't keep up. But Escape the 9 to 5 is a new member. Go ahead.
NC started on 1 milligram then?
NC said earlier
NC is still here.
Yeah, NC said she's on Ozempic. I don't know. Like NC said that I need Mounjaro. So you don't necessarily need to switch if it's working. I don't know. It's working for Chrissy.
I'm on week 9. And so when I said I was down 10 pounds and I had my follow-up with Angie, she told me where I should be then. And it wasn't where I am. It was actually where I would have been 13. So this should actually make then 15. So where I said I was starting was apparently I had lost a few pounds already.
So
I gave her my weight when I did my thing with her. Excuse me. Sorry.
Are you saying that you're ahead of the curve based upon the trials, based upon where your weight loss is currently with Wegovy?
Am I saying that?
Are you? I don't know.
I'm saying I'm at 15 pounds on week 9.
15 pounds down on week 9?
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's literally amazing.
Yeah. I used to yearn for the Mounjaro. Everybody says it's so great.
Yeah.
I figure I'll get through this and then I'll switch to Mounjaro when it's approved. Why? If it ain't fixed, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
But also if it ain't fixed, don't
water.
broke it. If it ain't fixed,
right.
Don't broke it. Don't do that either. They're both bad. There's a lot of comments. I do want to thank Escape the 9 to 5, who became an OG Mounjari. Appreciate you. Thanks for joining the channel as a member. If you also want to become a member, tonight is the night. Really. I mean, tonight's the night to become a member. These Friday night lives, we have a lot of fun on these streams. Yeah, DK. We've had these Friday night lives are great. We have a lot of members join, and then throughout the week, a lot of the info that I'm sharing, a lot of my personal journey is shared on the membership side. I've never really shared a lot about my personal journey. I share updates on milestones like 1 month, 3 month, 4 month, 5 months. I'll have an update, but my personal day-to-day life stuff I'm sharing on the membership side. I don't share that much on the any of my social medias except for on the membership side. And also we do videos that are just available for members. I don't know, Chrissy, you're a member. What else is there? I post a lot there, don't I? I mean, as a member, you feel like you get a lot of content,
do.
right?
You do, yes. I mean, I probably don't need to text you every day, but I still do.
I'm glad that you do.
I enjoy it.
I'm glad that you do.
I'm like, oh, what's Dave up to? What's he posting now?
Yeah. And you know now.
And you get the emojis. And then when you go to look at the content, you can find where the swag is.
That's right. Swag stuff we all get. Yeah. So there's special content there. There's special emojis. There's lots of things, but mostly you're just supporting what we're doing here, which I think is special. I think the community here is extra special. I love doing these Friday nights. I really like, I've never had a hobby that has been, like so rewarding, like just like seeing all the people that are here every week, contributing to the chat, becoming members of the channel, like helping me and being able to help other people. Like, it's just such a gift. Heller called today.
Go
ahead.
If you can't subscribe and you can't become a member, it's just not there for you. It's free to hit the like button, because you know what Dave thinks? You are the best part of this channel.
She did it. She stole my line. She told me last week she was going to work it in and she was going to steal it. She did. She did. And
You let me.
we are hitting about an hour and 15 minutes, which probably is time to wrap it up. So that was a good time probably to throw that in there. I will just say that Hiller called them today and the nurse said he will not go up. I'm not sure if it's an insurance thing. My insurance covers it with a $25 copay. Should be able to. Sue just gifted a Man on the Mounjaro membership, which made Cheryl Johnson a member. Thank you so much, Sue, for doing that. I've got something. I had to turn something on, Sue, for that to work. So, and you've done it in weeks before and it hasn't worked. So now it's working. I didn't realize I have to follow this on my streaming platform here, but it doesn't tell me when stuff like that happens. I have to follow it on YouTube over here. It's a little clunky. Emily is not keeping people on a lower dose because glucose is stable, because to me, that's not the only goal. Yes. Oh, yes. That preach. Emily, that's so wonderful, because what's been tricky is how to handle the end of the coupon for somebody that comes off from a high dose. Woo, that would be hard. And I've given the same thought. I'm a type 2 diabetic at 15 milligrams. And if all of a sudden my situation changed, I'm like, and I was forced, like, stock up. That's the best thing. If there's a way to stock up, if you can get a 3-month supply at one time, that's probably the best way until you can kind of figure it out. But yeah, keeping people on a lower dose because of glucose is stable is not the main goal. And I kind of touched on that last week with BJ Armstrong. Like, as a type 2 diabetic, they get hyper focused on this A1C, which is great. But like, if you can actually get your weight down to like a healthy for you level, and just like whatever homeostasis is for your body, which I honestly believe is you can't put everybody into the same category. That is where you want to be. Ken Lee became a member of the channel. Ken, Fat Guy No More. Check out his channel. He's got some of the most entertaining videos on his Mounjaro journey. So happy that you joined the channel. And then I did want to touch on Mimi's comment too, because her husband's type 2 diabetic. Mimi and I did an interview last week, and she said that her husband's doctor, did I say Mimi is type 2 diabetic, or say her husband? Her husband is type 2 diabetic, and his doctors kept him on 5 milligrams with no real clarity. And I think Emily's comment right before that is perfect. Like, it's not all about the A1C. It's not all about the blood sugars. For a lot of people, it's about getting that weight down to a healthy level if they are obese, which I don't know if your husband is obese. I don't know that. I've seen a video with you and him, and he didn't like look obese, but not like me anyway. But getting your weight down to a healthy level just fixes so many issues. But yeah, then like Emily said, the trick is, like, if all of a sudden he can't get that, then what? Bad hair days. Sue said bad hair days. That has to be in relation to the membership side. As a little inside joke for those of you who are members, it's been a bad hair day week for me. Jalen is diabetic, weights 405. Doctor started me at 2.5. Not really seeing any changes in weight loss. Should I request being put up to 10? I would recommend move up. I don't know that I'd move from 2.5 to 10, but move to 5 and then move to 7.5 and then move to 10. Move up, keep moving up. That's where the Surmount trials showed that the best weight loss was for Mounjaro was moving up. So yeah, I think this is a good spot. We're at a minute 18 or an hour 18. Looks like a minute 18.
Just a minute.
It feels like a minute 18. I appreciate each and every one of you for joining the stream tonight. Chrissy, what are the people who join this channel? What are they? Are they the best?
The best part of this channel, Dave.
100%. 100%. Everybody in the chat. Everybody that joins these every week. All 42 of you who are still here after an hour and 18 minutes and 41 seconds. You are the best part of this stream. Chrissy is the second best part of this stream. Robert, thank you for lending your talents and your perspective to the stream tonight. I can't wait till next Friday night. How about you? I love this.
I think I'm going to draw a background for myself for next Friday night.
Just get a green screen and you can have my background. I'll make you.
You don't think it would be way more fun if I just
draw it on the wall? You mean?
Yeah.
Please do that.
No, like on paper.
Okay.
Like
Just hang like a notepad piece of paper.
The Eiffel Tower or something.
Please do. Please do. You folks, Sue YouTube, D. Janine, who became a member tonight, NC, who became a member tonight, Joseph, who gifted some memberships, Sue, who gifted some memberships, Abby, who gave a super chat. Thank you so much for giving back to the stream in that way. Before we sign off, my last request is that you hit that like button. Hit that like. It helps the YouTube algorithm. And do that. And then next Friday night, we're going to meet back here. Same bat time, same bat channel. Chrissy is a fixture here now. For better or for worse, she's here.
My husband works every Friday night. I got nothing to do.
And if that changes, we're gonna have a problem. Other than that, then maybe Nick will have to come on. But yeah, appreciate each and every one of you for joining this week. This was a fun stream, even though I had basically no chance to prepare for it this week. If you are not a Man on the Mounjaro member, we would love to have you. $2.99. That's it. You get access to all the fun things. We would love to have you. But without further ado, we're going to roll the outro, and we are going to see you next Friday, and we can't wait to do it. Appreciate y'all. You're the best part of the stream. Chrissy's the second best part of the stream. Appreciate you. Have a good week, Chrissy, but not too good.
All right. I'll try.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate all of you. You're so wonderful. So great to me. We'll see you next week.